Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and this week in the Dragonflight pre-patch, we got a ton of class updates. In a recent blue post, we see a lot of upcoming adjustments, featuring buffs to certain playstyles that found themselves underperforming, as well as a surprising amount of nerfs. In some cases, we see reductions to certain class specs that have seen an early head start in the Dragonflight pre-patch. As with all the changes during the pre-expansion period, all of these updates are likely not final, as many are still awaiting for the final set of class tuning numbers, which usually get revealed around the time the expansion officially releases. But for now, I wanted to go over all of these surprises that will impact the way your class performs this week in the Dragonflight pre-patch. But right before that, most of you guys watch his videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future and upcoming Dragonflight pre-patch and beta builds. First, let's go over the changes coming to the class of Demon Hunter. Havoc Demon Hunter sees adjustments this week, with base abilities like Chaos Strike seeing a slight reduction, and the value of the first blood talent being reduced, lowering the output of Blade Dance as well. But the talent of Inner Demon is getting tuned up by 25%, and they also fixed bugs that prevented Inner Demon from scaling with Havoc's mastery stat, as well as not being empowered when consuming demonic souls. And hopefully both of these changes should help bring Inner Demon to a more reasonable power level. The class of Hunter mostly sees nerfs, starting with the spec of Beast Mastery. The talent of War Orders is being reduced this week. At max talent points, Barb Shot will have only 50% chance of resetting the cooldown of Kill Command instead of the original guaranteed 100%, which will affect both the performance of Hunter with less overall Kill Command uses, but it will also impact the damaging rotation, making it a little bit less predictable. Beast Mastery also loses survivability this week. Previously, the stat of Leech allowed hunters to gain health when healing their animal companions, usually done with abilities like Mend Pet or Exhilaration. This is a useful survivability tool in PvE and PvP content, since hunters are usually prone to feeling quite squishy in a variety of endgame encounters. Besides Beast Mastery hunters, we also saw nerfs to the Marksmanship Hunter as well. First of all, they fixed Chimera Shot interaction, where the ability had 2 chances to proc lethal shots, which allowed for greater rapid fire usage. And 2, they flat out reduced the damage of aim shot by 15%, which will create a pretty big impact in both your single target rotation as well as in AoE situations, since aim shot can ricochet with a trick shot passive. This week we see the class of Monks get knocked down with a large list of nerfs. Basic abilities like Fist of Fury, Rise and Sun Kick, and Blackout Kick are seeing up to 10 to 20% damage reductions baseline. Storm, Earth, and Fire damage transfer is reduced by 6.66, repeating of course, while Serenity was reduced by roughly 5%. Shadowboxing Treads and Teachings of the Monastery are also seeing nerfs, which reduces the effectiveness of Blackout Kicks in general. Forbidden Technique is going to make Touch of Death a little bit less deadly. Russian Jadewind and Whirling Dragon Punch are seeing base damage reductions for AoE content. Zowen's duration is being slightly reduced, and the haze buff granted by Zowen is being adjusted as well. With these nerfs, they attached developer comments stating that Windwalkers found themselves performing a bit too well across all combat scenarios, so they have reduced the effectiveness of certain abilities minus Spinning Crane Kick and Strike of the Windlord, as well as the effectiveness of major cooldowns to bring down the overall performance without completely eliminating certain builds and talent combinations. As of right now, it's hard to quantify exactly how impactful these changes will be, but most monks will definitely notice performance changes next time you enter dungeons, raids, or raid to PvP content. This week, priests are seeing a mixed bag of changes. Starting off with the class tree, we see heavy reductions to the ability of Mind Games, which found itself to be a fairly popular choice among priests in a variety of endgame content. We also see reductions to Crystalline Reflections damage redirection capabilities. Discipline Priest Power Word Radiance gains a little bit more baseline healing in this build, but Evangelism cooldown has been increased up to 3 minutes, all the way from 1.5, which heavily reduces its overall effectiveness in large group raid situations. Light's Wrath gains more baseline damage, but sees smaller damage increase with Atonement, making this ability better for small group 5-man dungeons while letting it scale in raid content. Holy Priests are getting reduced slightly, but just about every major spell is being reduced across the board. Base spells like Renew, Prayer of Mending, Heal, and Flash Heal are also being reduced. Holy Word Sanctify, Serenity, Sanctuary, and Salvation cooldowns are also being impacted as well. And we see AoE healing reductions for Circle Healing, Cosmic Ripple, and Divine Hymn. And while healers are getting nerfed, the Servant of the Old Gods has received some gifts, with just about every single ability seeing a buff by 10%. Basic abilities like Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch, Mind Blast, Mind Spike, and Mind Flight. Talents like Void Torrent, Shadow Crash, and Dark Void, as well as periodic damage of shadowy apparitions, Nilzoth's Echoing Void, Void Tendril Summon with the Idol of Cthulhu, and the shadow damage of the Summon of Yogg Saron. And it looks like rogues have managed to grease some palms and bribe a few of the developers. Base damage of abilities like Ambush and Rupture goes up this week. Assassination, Garrote, and Mutilate are getting slightly improved. The ability replacing Vendetta, Deathmark, is getting buffed by 15%. Amplifying Poison is becoming more deadly, and Scent of Blood allows for greater agility value when bleeding multiple targets. Subtlety rogues are seeing a 5% damage buff to mostly single target impacting abilities, as well as more cooldown reduction improvements for Shadow Dance, increasing rogues' burst uptime at endgame content. Shamans are seeing a mixed bag of changes. Elemental sees damage buffs all across the board. Most base abilities like Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Flame Shock, and Frost Shock have been improved by 10%, while Lava Burst has been increased by 18% instead. Talents like Elemental Blast, Earthquake, Ice Fury, Liquid Magma Totem, and Primal Fire Elemental get improved by a significant amount. And while Elemental Shamans got buffed, Enhancement Shamans saw a damage reduction. Everything has simply been reduced by 25%. Enhancement Shamans have had an awesome start in the Dragonflight pre-patch, capable of unleashing the fury of the elements in dungeons, raids, and rated PvP. And some players feel that this awesome start comes to a crashing halt with all of these recent changes. But as with all the class changes, it's a good idea to leave feedback regarding any of these updates. So far in the Dragonflight beta, we've seen a lot of class updates. A lot of these have been heavily impacted by the reaction and feedback from the community. So be sure to leave your thoughts regarding these changes down below, especially if you were planning on playing Enhancement Shaman in Dragonflight. Do you think that these changes were expected, or do you feel that Enhancement is receiving unfair treatment? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. This week, Demonology Warlocks are seeing major buffs. Casted abilities like Implosion and Hand of Gul'dan are seeing big damage amps. Demonic summons are also getting improved, with significant increases to the Vile Fiends and extra summoned Felguards. Wild Imps are more likely to upgrade into Imp bosses and are seeing significant damage upgrades. Main Felguard pet gains improved training and becomes more deadly wielding the Guillotine Axe. Pit Lord summoned from the Twisting Nether become a lot more powerful, and the main commanding Tyrant's Demon Fire grows increasingly stronger. And that's going to be all of the recent hotfixes and updates that we're seeing this week in the Dragonflight pre-patch. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the recent buffs coming to Rogues, Demonology Warlocks, Shadow Priests, and Elemental Shamans? And what are your thoughts about some of the most impactful nerfs, specifically for specs like Enhancement Shaman and the Windwalker Monk? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.